Fight me.
What is the it you look for in a high school quarterback? What is, because everybody thinks, well, he's big and he's got a big arm. Is there an it you look for?
Yeah, the big arm doesn't matter a whole lot. I mean, that doesn't come into play a ton. I mean, physically, what we look for, the number one thing we look for is, are they accurate? They've got to be accurate, and they've got to be a good enough athlete. They're not always going to be Kyler Murray's. There's only one of those out there, but they've got to be good enough athletically. The biggest thing we look for, though, was a guy winner. I mean, and at the end of the day, if you're a good enough high school player, then your team, as a quarterback, your team's going to win. And you may not win the state championship. You may not have all the other best players on your team, but you're going to win. And that's one thing Baker and Kyler both had in common. That's all they've ever done is win. And you can, and that's, I think, a trait that becomes expected. And I think you can just tell so much out of a guy that gets the most out of his teammates and finds a way to win and finds a way to play his best in big moments. And so we really try to evaluate those things hard and get to know the kids. And, luckily we had two guys like that came in and have done well. But that's kind of set the stage here for more great ones here in the future.
Does that ever sound like a quarterback from West Texas? I don't care about your arm. I don't care about your legs. I don't care about your measurables. I care about, can you win football games? I mean, took me back to Friday Night Lights when Mike Winchell talked about 2-1 Razor, 60 Cheetah. Just calling it on the fly saying we're going to try to go win this football game right quick. But Lincoln Riley walks it like he talks it. I mean, he goes out here. Look, I'm telling you, there was a quarterback coming out of Fort Scott Community College, washed out of Boston College because he's backing up a middling quarterback by the name of Matt Ryan. Maybe y'all know him or not. I don't know. At Fort Scott, this quarterback led his squad to its first conference title since 1974, a junior college national title game, and an 11-1 season. His name's Dominique Davis. He ended up the starter at East Carolina in 2010, played for Lincoln Riley. In his first start for the East Carolina Pirates, my man's went 27 of 46 for 383 with 5 TDs. He was a winner before he got to Lincoln Riley, and Lincoln Riley said, let's go win some football games. There's another quarterback, one of the 2-star recruits, shout out to Corey in the booth, out of Bel Air, Texas. Ain't nobody signed him, signing day. But there was a ball coach that knew something from football, and his name's Dana Holgerson. Saw this quarterback, called up his buddy, Ruff McNeil, who is the new head coach at East Carolina. Ruff McNeil, he's a defensive guy. He says to his young offensive coordinator, Lincoln Riley, would you take a look at this 2-star quarterback in his tape? Well, it turns out Lincoln Riley offered the guy just to get him on a visit. He liked him so much. His name's Shane Carden. He ended up passing for 8,700 plus yards at ECU. Now, most folks know Lincoln Riley is the guy who won Heisman trophies with Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. Maybe a Heisman means something where you're from, I don't know. But folks who aren't sold on Jalen Hurts need to see the number one criteria Lincoln Riley put for being his quarterback. It's winning. Jalen Hurts went 26-2 as a starter in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I don't know if Alabama football means anything to you where you're from. You know who else knows how to win? A redshirt freshman quarterback at Oklahoma by the name of Tanner Mordecai. He put his team on his back as a senior, passed for 4,300 plus yards, rushed for 1,100 plus yards, en route to 15 straight wins and a state championship game appearance. For his efforts, he was named the 6A Offensive Player of the Year in the state of Texas. Texas high school football staying lit, man. You know who else knows how to win? It's the Elite 11 MVP. Only 5-star quarterback in the 2019 class. But check this out. I watched this kid by the name of Spencer Rattler bring his opening final 7-on-7 squad back from the dead. It was named Team Overdrive, but the nickname down there in Frisco at the Star was Team OU because it was not just Spencer. It was also Spencer Rattler along with R.J. Henderson, who was committed at the time, Theo Weiss, who signed, Jace McClellan, who is the leader of this 2020 class, 5-star running back, and Trajan Bridges, 5-star wide receiver, who's also signed with Oklahoma. And the thing that I found interesting was when I talked to the receivers on that squad, and they took their L's, and they had to come back. They couldn't lose again in this double elimination tournament. They said, Spencer said, it's on me. I got it. We'll come back from it. And he took it really hard. But the wide receiver said, we ain't worried. I said, why weren't y'all worried? Theo and Trajan Bridges told me because we know who we are and we know who our quarterback is. And when you're talking about 5-star wide receivers, you're talking about guys that are feeling themselves more often than not. Okay? That's why they play the position. It's a diva position, and we all understand that and respect it. But Spencer Rattler commanded that team. These boys genuflected to their quarterback. And that is the guy who is coming in June to join this Sooner squad that is going to be led by the leader that is Jalen Hurts. If you didn't see my man's squat nearly 600 pounds in February as a quarterback, you need to go watch it. Now, I understand there's folks out there that's like, yo, man, squatting doesn't make you win football games. All right, well, sure doesn't hurt you none neither. And if I got a quarterback who could squat 600 pounds, you know who doesn't get the slack in the weight room? Nobody. Nobody gets the slack in the weight room when the quarterback is squatting 600, when he's benching close to 3 bills, when he's cleaning over 300, when he is just a man amongst them. And as a grad transfer, he is.
Bro,
it's
you
his
shouldn't
job.
be squatting that until like the end of March, maybe April. You build up to 600. It's mid-February.
I think they was maxing out, though. That's what it looked like because they was crowded around like they was maxing out. So, like, if they still ain't maxed out, what's he going to hit now? Because it's 585 on the board. It's 585 on the board. Look, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to blow my own horn because as Jimmy Breslin said, if you don't toot your own horn, there is no music. I won a national championship, power sports, my weight class 165, bench, deadlift, and curl. I know from pulling, I know from pushing, I know from curling, I know from squatting. And what I'm telling you is, there is nothing like putting 500 pounds on your back. Now, it's a number, but there's something about putting that on your back, putting that on your vertebrae, and having that push you into the ground, and having a strength coach that says, get in the hole, that is going to mess with your nerves. You were prepared for this, but hey, it's still 500 pounds on your back. Now, perspective is, Jalen Hurts has been doing this since he was a sophomore in high school. I think if his dad was not the head coach down at Channelview, he probably wouldn't have lasted as a quarterback because he just looks like a running back. He looks like a linebacker. And he's going to have to continue to deal with that. But it gets back to that winning thing, right? Because one of the reasons I got to believe that he was interested in coming to Oklahoma is to be coached by Lincoln Riley. And in being coached by Lincoln Riley, you're going to become a better quarterback. And if he can turn Jalen Hurts into a Heisman finalist, what is it that Lincoln Riley can't do? Because it's not as if Jalen Hurts is an outstanding passer. He's a good passer. He's a better passer, as folks like to say, than he gets credit for, which is another way of saying that he's a butcher and not a surgeon. A butcher can slice the meat. You can expect him to beat up some dead things. A surgeon is the guy that you trust to go in there on your brain and not mess anything up. You had surgeons in Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield. What if Lincoln Riley can make Jalen Hurts into a surgeon? Corey, what would you do if you thought that Jalen Hurts could pass for 70% on the season?
He'd be playing. I'd be throwing that rock.
Right. Now, throw into that, he is a power quarterback runner, and you got a bevy of running backs that you like and you trust. Now, what's your scheme?
A balanced attack.
Right. Which is exactly what Oklahoma's been doing. So Lincoln Riley went all Machiavellian on us and said, hey, Austin Kendall, I know that I went into your living room and I said you're going to be my cornerback and you be here for 3 years and you grad transfer and whatnot, but I got an opportunity to go get this dude and continue to be balanced, to run the ball like I want to run the ball. And you know what? To look a lot like Oklahoma's 2015 offense in the way that they did things. And you got to believe that if Alex Grinch can get something going at all with this defense, you're talking about a third straight appearance into the college football playoff. And is that not what we're playing for? Is that not why we play college football? To win championships? Corey, do you want to win a championship?
Every time. Every single year.
Right. And that's why you come to Oklahoma. Matter of fact, it goes back to that Adrian Peterson pitch that Cale Gundy gave. Look, we know you're the best at what you do, but we're the best at what we do. So do you want to be with us winning championships, or you want to watch us do it? And that was given to Jalen. And you see, that's the thing, though. Jalen Hurts got a national championship. I think he wants more. And I don't mean another national championship. I think he wants to be the guy who does what nobody else has been able to do, which is beat a Nick Saban Alabama coach team for a title at Oklahoma. We can talk about the 2014 Sugar Bowl all we want. Lord knows I like bringing it up. Sugar Bowl, Trevor Knight for the win. But that wasn't for no title. And it's been 19 years since Oklahoma won a national championship. So for folks that ain't into the idea of Jalen Hurts, I need you to look at Lincoln Riley's number one criteria. And I need you to look at his past two quarterbacks, and you'll see what is possible. Before we get out of here, I want to thank sponsors of Fight Me with RJ Young, presenting sponsor American Putter Company. Love y'all. Want to thank Trey's Tulsa, my man's Travis, Steve Bullard, McGraw Realtors, and the fanstop.com OU t-shirt of the month club is real cool. I get my shipment every month. They give you 10% off for a year if you use my name at checkout, which means you basically get a free shirt. You should do those things. When you go to Trey's, tell them RJ sent you. When you talk to my man Steve, tell him to keep sending me houses, because that's what we're doing. We out here trying to find a house. It's hard. I'm learning all about that. It's hard. And when you're talking about putting, yo, we should all be better putters. There is no excuse for not being able to putt. It's like shooting. It's free. You go to a putting green. You drop some balls. You get better. And why not do it with your very own custom putter? I'm getting my custom putter. It's got Molin Lobby on it. It's got Spartans on it. It's got all of my favorites. It's got my tattoos on it. It's my sword. My putter's my sword. And if you would like to be a sponsor of Fight Me, call 918-248-0097. That's 918-248-0097. My assistant talk with you. I want to thank Corey being in the booth, man. Have fun today. You have fun today?
Always, brother.
That's what's
always.
Up. That's what's up. That's going to do it for us on this episode, this show, this edition of Fight Me with RJ Young. We'll see you next week at 10 a.m. I'm going to take you to church. Deuces.